India and world organizations. India has emerged, especially in the recent times, as the world's leading economy, as a political leader, and even as a voice of the third world countries. According to Wikipedia, currently the Indian economy is the world's seventh largest in terms of nominal GDP. Nominal GDP, as you know, is a gross domestic product GDP evaluated at the market price. And it is also third largest by the purchasing power parity. Following market-based economic reforms in 1991, India became one of the fastest growing major economies. Now, in the World Economic Forum, it is considered as a newly industrialized country and is emerging as an economic power in the world. Though it continues to face challenges of poverty, corruption, malnutrition, and also inadequate public health care, it is an important nuclear weapons state and a formidable regional power in Asia. It has the third largest standing army in the world, and it ranks sixth in the military expenditure among nations. India, however, is a pluralistic, multilingual, and multi-ethnic, and it is the largest democratic country in the world. It has one of the world's largest skilled population spread all over the world, and it is also home to a very diversified wildlife in a variety of protected habitats. This shows lots of conservation efforts are being made. Therefore, it commands a unique identity in the world in various fields. And further, historically also it has played a very vital role in various world organizations right from Nehru's time. Its prominence and its presence now in the World Forum has increased manifold, especially with our dynamic Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who is taking a very huge initiatives and steps in the various world forums. In this essay, we will take a look at the engagements of India in various world forums and see how important a role India is playing. We think this topic is an important current event topic which could attract many questions in the examinations. Now let us see what are the multilateral engagements the India is involved in. As said before, India is one of the leading developing countries playing an active role in the important multilateral forums in the global governance. They are United Nations, World Trade Organization, G20 Leaders Summit, East Asia Summit, BRICS Summit of Emerging Economies, Commonwealth of Nations, which is also often seen as the third world voice. And apart from this, there are big platforms. India has got itself engaged in many regional groupings like BASIC, Shanghai Cooperation Organization, Indian Ocean Rim Association, IBSA Dialogue Forum, South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation, Mekong Ganga Cooperation, BIMSTEC, so many others. But now we will take a look at the major world bodies and the forums. Start with the United Nations General Assembly. Now India has been known for its very focal and strong presence in the United Nations Assembly, and that is because it has voiced its concern over various world issues, and India has been calling for reforms and expansion in the United Nations activities. Now, Security Council has been one of the area India has been focusing, and India has a long-standing demand of a permanent membership. Prime Minister Modi in the first speech effectively argued why United Nations should serve as a Z-all or the global governance instead of several parallel subgroupings like G7, G20, etc. India has argued for comprehensive program on international terrorism by the United Nations, and it has offered proactive role in it. India has cited as a victim of terrorism for decades, especially the terrorism coming out of our neighboring Pakistan. And Kashmir is also a related matter in this terrorist activity, and India's stand has been clear on Kashmir. It has stated again and again that the Kashmir being an integral part of India, it is ready for a bilateral talk with Pakistan, provided Pakistan creates a suitable environment for talks by giving up terrorism policy against India. Another area where India has stood prominently is on the climate change and use of clean energy by committing itself in an active manner. One of the big events for India and the world has been observing International Yoga Day, which emphasized the importance of incorporating yoga in the modern lifestyle. Asian-Indian Summit is one of the most important forum which India has had a major role to play year after year. ASEAN is basically association of Southeast Asian nations, and it has a 10-member bloc, and the members nations are the Brunei Darussalam, Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos, that is Laos, Malaysia, Myanmar, Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, and lastly Vietnam. ASEAN, as is well known, is one of the most successful regional bloc in the world in the Asian continent. India started looking towards this group seriously from 1992, and it launched in this context Look East policy, and now it occupies the central position in India's policy of Southeast Asia. From 2002 onwards, India and ASEAN have started holding annual summits. Now, India has advanced the idea of India and ASEAN can be great partners. Since 2 decades, India has had a Look East policy. Now the same has been turned into Act East policy. Act East policy now reflects the renewed momentum in India's approach towards Asian nations. There exists a free trade agreement on service sector, and the amount is estimated something like $100 billion, and there have been a constant talk for ways to increase this further. India-Asian trade. This trade is expected to reach, as said before, more than $100 billion, and the present emphasis by India has been stated to be 3 C's, that is, to strengthen the relation, and these 3 C's have been defined as a commerce, connectivity, and cultural links. In the same line as ASEAN-India Summit, there is a ASEAN Regional Forum. This ASEAN Regional Forum is the first region-wide Asia-Pacific multilateral forum, and that is for official consultations on peace and security issues, whereas the earlier ASEAN-India Summit had concentrated on the commerce, connectivity, and cultural links, as said before. Now, ASEAN Regional Forum is an outgrowth of the annual ministerial level meeting of Association of Southeast Asian Nations. This ASEAN Regional Forum, ARF, provides a setting for discussion and also diplomacy in the development of various cooperative responses dealing with regional problems of these countries. The 10 ASEAN members, that is Brunei, Myanmar, Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos, Malaysia, the Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, and Vietnam, and also ASEAN's 10 dialogue partners, that is Australia, Canada, China, and European Union, India, Japan, and South Korea, Russia, New Zealand, and the United States. Now, the ASEAN Regional Forum, ARF, is characterized by very minimal institutionalizations. By decision making is by consensus, and the use of both first track, that is official, and second track, that is non-official diplomacy. The chair of ARF is rotated annually, and India has been actively participating in the meetings. It has helped resolve all issues, and one controversial issue has been in regards to the territorial ownership of the South China Sea. It is a contentious issue, and it impacts most Asian member states. India's ONGC Videsh has a big investment in oil blocks, and China has made recently very aggressive defense moves in the South China Sea, and this was to establish its territorial claims in the South China Sea. Therefore, India in this context has both economic and defense issues as well in the Asian region. As is well known, BRICS is a group of emerging economies comprising Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa. They all aim to unitedly face the global challenges. India, together with its BRICS partner, is working towards launching a financial institute. It was in the line of Western-dominated World Bank, that is IMF. In fact, the concept of BRICS Financial Institute was first proposed during the New Delhi Summit in 2012, way back in 2012, and that was done by the earlier Prime Minister Manmohan Singh. In the 6th BRICS Summit, that is in July 2014, Brazil group had agreed to establish the bank with a corpus of $100 billion. The bank would be named as the New Development Bank as suggested by the Indian side, and its headquarters would be located in Shanghai, China. Now we come to the Commonwealth of Nations, and let us see the relations of India and the role India is playing with the Commonwealth organization. Commonwealth has been there since the London Declaration of 1949, and that established a modern Commonwealth, and India has held a very pivotal position in this voluntary association of big number of countries, that is 54 independent sovereign countries. It was India's decision in 1948 to remain in the Commonwealth, and this influenced other Asian and African countries also to join this Commonwealth organization. This organization is said to have opened an era of modern Commonwealth. Now, India is the largest member of state of Commonwealth, and it has nearly 60% of the total population of this association. That indicates the big presence of India in the Commonwealth. It is the fourth largest contributor to the Commonwealth budgets and programs. It also provides the largest number of technical experts that are engaged by the Commonwealth Fund for Technical Cooperation. It also extends assistance to developing Commonwealth countries after England. India is a member of key Commonwealth bodies as well. It includes the Steering Committee and the Commonwealth Connects, the Standing Committee on Terrorism, Commonwealth Advisory Board on Sports, Grants Committee of Commonwealth Foundation, and also the Executive and Accreditation Committee of Commonwealth Secretariat Board of Governors. Now, Commonwealth can be seen as an association which puts a premium on democracy and good governance, where India has so much to share with others because of its democratic tradition. It provides a platform to interact and build consensus with a very diverse group of countries. It includes G8 countries like United Kingdom and Canada, and the key developing countries like South Africa, Nigeria and Malaysia, and plethora of other small states. Some of the important bodies and meetings in which India is playing a role in the Commonwealth setup are the CHOGM, that is Commonwealth Heads of government meeting which is held once in 2 years. Further, there is a Commonwealth Ministerial Action Group, that is CMAG, and this group is convened by the Commonwealth Secretary General and is made up of foreign ministers from 9 member states. Then comes the Commonwealth Fund for Technical Cooperation. It is the principal means by which the Commonwealth delivers the development assistance to various member countries. Then there is a Commonwealth Youth Program, and this is the only intergovernmental organization which dedicates its funds and programs for the youth development. Then there is a Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, and this association provides a forum for discussion on matter of common parliamentary interest. Further, it disseminates information on parliamentary institutions and also spreads knowledge on the constitutional, legislative, economic, social and other cultural issues. There is also Commonwealth Games that takes place, and it is a big international event which is held every 4 years. Although there are 54 members of the Commonwealth nations, 71 teams participate in these Commonwealth Games. And then there is a Commonwealth Scholarships and Fellowship Plans, and these schemes promote educational exchange programs among Commonwealth nations, and India has been playing key role in this since long time. Now we come to Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit. This Shanghai Cooperation Organization is basically known to be China-backed bloc, that is for military and energy cooperation. And India has been participating as in a capacity of observer status from 2005. India is not a full member of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, but it wishes for a full membership. Russia has all along backed India's entry. It was China's reservation which held it so long, but recently Chinese President Xi Jinping has informed Prime Minister Modi during a BRICS summit in Brazil that it is ready to welcome India, but however it will be along with Pakistan. This Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit is now attempting to project a united front against Islamic extremism in the Central Asia, that includes Afghanistan. India has now formally put its paper for a full membership, and now it is likely to be granted soon according to Chinese officials. East Asia Summit. East Asia Summit is an ASEAN-led dialogue forum. East Asia Summit comprises of 18 countries, however 10 are the ASEAN nations, and it has other 8 nations, that is Japan, China, South Korea, India, Australia, New Zealand, Russia and United States. Over the years, the East Asia Summit has become most important because it is a multilateral body in the Asia-Pacific region, and it discusses security, trade and commerce and also environment. East Asia Summit is important because it brings in large collective weight of global populations, and China and India contributing a lot in this, and there are issues which involve youth, economy and military aspects as well. Therefore, it is critical for peace, stability and also overall prosperity in Asia and Pacific and world as a whole. It must be mentioned that India has made a huge contribution in reopening of Nalanda University. Now we come to the most talked G20 Assembly, which takes place every year. And G20 is a group of 20 leading economies of the world, which are advanced and also emerging markets. And these countries are Argentina, Australia, Brazil, Canada, China, France, Germany, India, Indonesia, Italy, Japan, South Korea, Mexico, Russia, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, Turkey, United Kingdom, United States, and lastly European Union as well. The G20 was formed after 2008 financial crisis for international financial governance. In this, India as a fast-growing economy plays an important role in the group since it began in 2008. It may be noted that India was one of the few lucky countries which did not get that much affected because of the global financial crisis that happened in 2008. For the first time in 2014, India was represented by Prime Minister Modi himself. Now, G20 is an important world body because collectively the G20 economies account for as much as 85% of the gross world product, 80% of the world trade, that is excluding European Union and intra-trade, and also 2/3 of the world population. One of the main issues among others which India highlighted was the issue of black money or the unaccounted money kept in tax havens where the countries allow foreigners to dump huge unaccounted money. As is well known, it's a burning issue in India's domestic economic and political life as well. India also stressed on the need of changing laws in certain countries to allow better information sharing on the black money kept abroad, and it also has entered into agreements against the terror funding. It may be noted that India is the largest recipient of remittances, that is $71 billion. Now, therefore, India has pushed forward for the reduction in the remittance costs of non-residents at the G20 Summit. This remittance cost is as high as 10% in some countries. Earlier, India has been able to convince Saudi Arabia to reduce it to 3.5%. Now, G20 countries have agreed to bring down the global average cost of transferring remittances to 5%. Now let us come to South Asian Association of Regional Cooperation, that is Saarc. Saarc is an association of members of nations in South Asia. It includes Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Maldives, Nepal, Pakistan, Sri Lanka. Along with this, Saarc has enlisted many observer countries. They are Australia, China, Burma, European Union, Japan, Iran, Mauritius, South Korea, and lastly, United States. As said earlier, the relations with the immediate neighbors in South Asia have become a priority features in the India's foreign policy. This Saarc is a summit which encourages cooperation in many regional issues like trade, connectivity, infrastructure, transit facility among the member states of Saarc. India has urged to focus on a greater people-to-people contacts, better connectivity, commercial linkages within the region. Now, China, which holds an observer status in the group, is actively promoting a more active role for itself in the region, and it includes the infrastructure funding through its proposed Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, that is AIIB. It is a big agenda of extending its maritime Silk Road project to South Asian nations. In this effort, Pakistan is China's all-weather friend, and it supports China's ambitions in this matter. Now, India has advanced 3 proposals to boost connectivity in the Saarc region. One is the regulation of passenger and cargo vehicular traffic among Saarc member states, that is for a seamless vehicular movement beyond the national borders. Number 2, the Saarc Regional Agreement on Railways for International Rail Services. And number 3, Saarc Framework Agreement for Energy Cooperation, that is electricity for energy trade in the subcontinent region. Now Pakistan, however, has strongly opposed the three proposed agreements. However, finally, all the sides agreed to sign the Saarc Framework of Agreement for Energy Cooperation, that is the last one, and that was basically a face-saving measure for the coming summit in the Kathmandu. Finally, we come to Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation, that is APEC countries, popularly known as APEC countries. The Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation is a regional economic forum which was established way back in 1989. Idea was to leverage the growing independence of the Asia Pacific countries. APEC has 21 members. It aims to create greater prosperity for the people of the region by promoting balanced, inclusive, sustainable, innovative and secure growth, and it also aims to accelerate regional economic integration. Now let us see in what way APEC operates and how it aims to achieve its above stated aims and policies. Now, APEC ensures that the goods, services, investment and people move easily across the borders of the APEC countries. The members facilitate this trade through faster customs procedures at borders, more favorable business climates behind the border, and also aligning regulations and standards across the region. Now APEC has important agenda, that is the climate change, and it has recognized the impacts of climate change because of the increasing environmental problems, and APEC members also implement initiatives to increase energy efficiency and also promote sustainable management of forest and marine resources. Forum has persuaded its members to deal with important new challenges like disaster resilience, planning for epidemics, and also addressing the terrorism. As said before, APEC has 21 member economies, and the 21 members are Australia, Brunei, Canada, Chile, People's Republic of China, Hong Kong, Indonesia, Japan, Republic of Korea, Malaysia, Mexico, New Zealand, Papua New Guinea, Peru, the Philippines, the Russian Federation, Singapore, Chinese Taipei, Thailand, United States of America, and lastly the Vietnam. It is said the APEC cooperative process is predominantly concerned with the trade and economic issues, which happens among the members engaged with one another as economic entities. Therefore, APEC is basically known for its economic cooperation. Although India is not a member of APEC, China in 2015 summit has invited India to attend the event in Beijing as a guest, and it has showed its willingness to support India's bid to join APEC. India already enjoys such support from other member states such as Russia, USA, and also Vietnam.